Welcome to the Milo Sweet Podcast, where you learn to achieve more with less by being resourceful and watch me occasionally get off topic. Let's get into the show. Today I was inspired to write this because I said to write this, to record this, because I was inspired just by things around me, people around me, and I thought it was great to recognize that. So I was reflecting, and I thought I would share it. Maybe this is a point in your life where you can reflect upon this. Maybe you've already noticed this. Maybe you're like deep into this conclusion, and we're just on this journey together, and you're like, Mila, seriously, you're just seeing that? So I made a podcast a while back that no one's going to save you. And I meant that. I meant like that there are certain things that you have to learn, skills that you have to develop. And there's no shortcut. For instance, look at certain skills as you have to actually breathe the air in and you have to actually eat the meals, right? Like your body has to actually, even if I ate a meal, it's not the same as you eating. I could bring the food to the table for you. But at some point, you have to actually chew it up and eat it and, remove the waste. And then at some point, you have to breathe in the oxygen and exhale the, carbon dioxide. So those are certain skills that no matter what good things happen to you in your life, you actually have to develop them. That's why when someone's given like a silver spoon and, let's just say they're born into so much wealth, they can destroy it because they actually never develop those skills that are required to manage that wealth, to grow that wealth. And so it's similar to basically growing up on a farm. You see your parents do all the stuff for a farm and you don't actually do them. And then, your parents are no longer here. They give the farm to you and you're like, oh my gosh, what do I do? I remember when my dad or my mom did X, Y, and Z. And so that's kind of the thing. It's like, yeah, you were around it in that environment. Sure, it probably gave you a great foundation, but is that enough to build the skyscraper? Is that foundation strong enough? Who knows, right? So that's what I meant by no one's going to save you, because this is kind of going to contradict that. And I just want to give context, which means that's the angle that I was coming from with that episode. And then this episode is someone's going to help you out along the way. So here's an analogy for this. When I was on a trip a couple years ago, my kid's grandfather, so my father-in-law, had an idea to build like some wooden birdhouses, which seems pretty silly, right? And simple. It's just a fun craft to do with the kiddies. And so they built it and we put it up in our house, and years later, it's still there. And it just clicked to me that these birds, they had no idea where they were going to have their children, how things were going to work out for them. There's multiple birds that have had babies in there that fly in and out, and they comfort their little chickies in these houses. But someone way far away thought that they might need that, never knew them, never, met them, and planned to make it an activity for some other kids, from kids that had no idea about these birds, that didn't think much of them. And it was considered fun for them to provide for these, chicks. And so I thought about that. And there's so many times in my life that someone enjoyed pouring into me, or, supporting an idea or a gift, or, providing a grant or whatever it is. And that I think the concept that would be enjoyable for them, I don't know, it never really crossed my mind until I thought about those birds. So let's just say there's something in your life that you think, who's going to believe in me? Who's going to help me with that? Who's actually going to see that through? How am I, once I get, to step C, how is it going to actually work out? And I am starting to see there are people and things and ideas and concepts and products waiting for you when you get to step C. Sometimes it just, you find out when you get there, that someone's been waiting and they planned it out to give something to you. So get started, put in the work, because some time is spent trying to figure out, how is this going to work out? When is it going to do that? And granted, I do believe in planning. I do believe in a good strategy. I believe in reflecting and assessing. I believe that is a skill and you get better with each rep. However, there are some things that just don't look like they're going to work out. They just don't. Like, I remember looking at my debt and how much I had to pay off. I thought, there is no way I'm going to pay this off. And on paper, it said it would take me 12 years. 12 years. I don't remember the exact time frame, but I remember it being under like 3 years to pay it off. Like, it was just something crazy. When I look back at that, I don't know exactly how it all worked out. I'm probably, sometimes those thoughts come and go. So right now I can't quite go on the record for it, but I just know I kept moving along. I kept being focused on paying it off. And I have a question for you. What are you not doing because you don't know how it's going to work out? You know you should be doing it. You know that you should, put your all into it, and you're not. What are you not doing because you don't believe anyone will support you or be there for you? And it's amazing. Or you think that people are going to think you're crazy, and maybe they are. But that doesn't mean that someone won't enjoy helping you along the way. And let's put some parameters on that. I'm not telling you to go do something that really is like go jump off that mountain and someone's going to be waiting. No, don't do that. That's not what I'm saying. Please don't misconstrue that. Let's think about this as more just applicable steps within, growing and developing, making yourself stronger, some things that maybe are some obstacles. Maybe it's getting out of debt. Maybe it's buying your first house. Maybe it's buying your first rental. Maybe it's starting a business. Maybe it is leaving, your job or switching careers or, taking on a little bit more financial burden, and you're trying to figure out how is this going to work out, but you know that is the right move. Sometimes we make right moves that feel uncomfortable at that moment, and other people don't get it. They just don't get it. They would not take that risk. But to think that there's someone else. So I'll just tell you a couple, I won't say a couple things because I don't know. I'll just tell you that there's times in my life where I thought, I'm not sure how this is going to work out. I know I can make it to this next stop. I know that I have that much in me. I would love to make it all the way, right? But, when it comes to, a business strategy, or when it comes to developing your kids and growing yourself, sometimes you really can't see further. And that is okay. I know that sometimes they say, oh, if you don't have a vision, yes, sometimes the vision is that you can make it to the next step. And I think that counts. Just get there, right? What does that look like for your family, for your kids, for your spouse? What does that look like? And I believe that that develops a skill in us. It develops patience. It also develops a trust and just like the goodness of other people. I think there's some people that are just waiting to be kind to you. Maybe you've had things not go right? And things have been not so good. But that doesn't mean that they're not people waiting to do something nice to you, to help you out, to enjoy your idea, to support your business, to help you with that career change, to be there maybe when you need that extra payment for your mortgage, or maybe, to help paint your first rental. There are people waiting. And I think take a moment and think back on how things could have worked out. We always think about, I wish it was this and that, but like, it could be worse. It could be a lot worse. It really can. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing over here. I'm reflecting. I'm just thinking about all those times that someone built a birdhouse for me. But what kind of birdhouses did you get? And guess what? There's some big ones waiting in the future. That someone else. I think you have to develop the skill. The bird still had to make a nest in there, something comfortable for the kids. I saw the bird, grab some bugs and some worms and give them to the kitties. I don't think they're called kitties, but you know what I mean. So they had to lay the eggs. They still had to do the work. And they were grateful for what was given to them. They didn't think, oh, you know what, this is well, maybe they did, but hopefully they didn't. It's a crappy little house you guys made. I'm looking for something a little nicer. I mean, they seemed really grateful. Yeah, when it was raining, they, were hidden from the elements. They really seemed to be grateful. And so many other birds have used it. Once the kids are grown or the chickies are grown, they move. And it's just really nice that one kind thought continued to serve for others. And then who are you building birdhouses for? Sometimes we think of our scenarios like, well, I need this and I need that, but like, who are you thinking of? Where are you sowing those seeds of kindness? That is all for me. I think the 20% is birdhouses. Focus on that. Who has your birdhouses? Take the next step. And who are you leaving some birdhouses for? If you made a path, or you're taking a path and you figured out how to accomplish something, share it with other people. Don't hold it in. I really dislike the people that hold it in and that make it like I got to keep, this information in. It's like, dude, just share it. You still have to implement it. That's the hard part. Make it easy. Share the knowledge. All right, that's another episode in the books. Hello? I said it's over. Why are you still listening? Like, seriously, the episode is over. If you're still listening right now, you know what? You're probably a chronic procrastinator. Guess what? I'm still listening to. Come on, for real, seriously. We gotta go do something productive. No, like for real. No, for real. Okay, you can keep listening.